YouTube changed my life with less than 100 subscribers, and even though it sounds dramatic, it's true. So if you're like me and you think your videos aren't good enough yet, I've wanted to be a YouTuber for as long as I can remember. The idea that I could also have that sort of impact on someone else, realize that my perfectionism is actually just my fear being disguised. Posting on YouTube has shifted the way that I see myself and my place in the world, and it's made me face my insecurities head on in a way that I've never done before. And it's made me be less afraid of putting myself out there in all aspects of my life, not just on YouTube. Now, this is a growth journey that I am still in the midst of, but I've already seen so many significant positive changes in my life because of it. But before we get into the changes, let me give you a little bit of context about why I decided to start posting on YouTube in the first place. As I'm sure a lot of you guys who are creators yourselves can relate to, I've wanted to be a YouTuber for as long as I could remember. I grew up watching the OGs, Nigahiga, Kev Jumba, and Wong Fu Productions. And I think it was the first time that I saw people who looked like me, act like me, and had similar backgrounds like me be on the screen as Asian American. I didn't even know this word back then, but subconsciously I felt really empowered because in a way it made me realize that being Asian American is cool and that we have a lot to share with the world. So the first time I uploaded a YouTube video was actually 14 years ago when I was a little sixth grader, and I would make these skit videos with my friends from elementary school and just post them online, not knowing who could be watching. I just remember this entire process of ideating to scripting to filming with my friends was just such a fun process to me. I did not think at all about how many people might be watching it or who might be watching it until one of my elementary school friends actually found the video, and immediately I felt embarrassed. But looking back, they're actually so much fun to rewatch, even though the quality was pretty terrible, because it reminded me of an era where I was just free to play around and be creative and just try to make something original with my friends. Sometimes I miss that era of YouTube where people would just upload original videos without trying to edit it too much, and it would just feel very raw and authentic. When I started junior high and high school, I kind of just forgot about doing YouTube because there's just so much to do in high school. So really there wasn't time to do YouTube. I think the same thing happened in college, where when I got into my dream school, Harvard, I really tried to immerse myself in the campus environment and try to soak it all in, because I knew that after 4 years, we would have to leave. I felt like I just wasn't in the right mental headspace to really have the discipline to start YouTube. Then finally, I started this channel that you're watching right now in 2021 when we were in the midst of the lockdowns and I was just bored at home. I finally had a lot of free time to start making videos, and I started doing more research into creating a channel. So after being on YouTube for a few years and basically thinking about it every day, even though you might see that I haven't been the most consistent, I think my mindset from posting on YouTube has really changed the way that I approach life in general. So why do I want to do YouTube? This might also be relatable to a lot of you guys who are starting out, but the first and primary reason that I want to do YouTube is it's really a creative outlet for me to express myself and my ideas. As an avid consumer of YouTube, pretty much ever since it began in 2006, I could distinctly remember certain videos that have really resonated with me and changed the way that I view life. For example, the way that Casey Neistat vlogged his life started changing the way that I see my own mundane life. The idea of romanticizing your life, where you could be the main character and everything you encounter could be made into a film, that's quite interesting.
Yes! Yes!
The idea that I could also have that sort of impact on someone else and perhaps put something original into the world eventually is a really alluring idea for me. The second reason I want to do YouTube is I want to help others by sharing my past experiences, whether it has to do with academics or career or health and wellness. I just want to be able to share what I've learned so that others can have an easier path. I think I've definitely learned a lot from other YouTubers I watched, and more importantly, they've inspired me to do more in my life, such as even creating this channel. So I think having that impact would be really rewarding for me. And finally, I really like the idea of being able to build a community of people who have the same interest as I do. I think it's so cool that I'm able to connect with someone across the world just by putting my thoughts out there on YouTube. So I will definitely continue doing that. All right, with all that context on my YouTube journey, let's get into how it changed my life so far. All right, so let's talk about ways in which YouTube has already changed my life with less than 100 subscribers. So the first way that it changed my life was that it forced me to face my insecurities head on. If you know me in real life, then you would know that I am a perfectionist. It's probably the reason why I've achieved like conventional success in academics and my career. But when it comes to starting a new hobby like YouTube, it's not really helpful. Even though I'm a beginner at YouTube, I still have really high expectations for myself in the end product, and I expect my videos to look like the videos from my favorite creators. But honestly, that is so unrealistic. Sometimes I'm like, what makes me think that I'm so special that I'm just gonna be able to do this right off the bat? I think what's so daunting about YouTube at the beginning is that when you're not good at something, you want to keep it private, right? If you're learning to draw, you're not telling everyone in the world that you suck at drawing. It seems like everyone can see you fail when you're first starting out, even though in reality, like, how many people know about your channel? Over time, I've realized that my perfectionism is actually just my fear being disguised, my fear of being seen as a failure. So every time I upload a video, I really see it as a vote of confidence that even though this video might not be the best video ever, I'm still gonna put it out there because I just need to get the reps in order to get better. It's a rite of passage. So if you're like me and you think your videos aren't good enough yet to be published, or you're just not smart or pretty enough to be talking on camera, you have to start anyways. I have two quotes that I want to share with you guys that really resonated with me in this YouTube journey. And the first one is, the best time to launch was yesterday. The second best time is today. Even if you think that YouTube's too saturated, do it anyways because we need your unique voice. The second quote that really resonated with me is from the founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman. If you're not embarrassed by your first version of your product, then you've already launched too late. This really reinforces the idea for me that having videos that are subpar in your opinion is really a normal experience for anyone who starts out doing anything. Now, quick break before I move on to the next topic. If you guys are interested in following along on my little YouTube journey, then hit the subscribe button below and I would love to see you in our community. The second way that posting on YouTube changed my life so far is that it really made me step outside of my comfort zone. So obviously, to post a video, you have to film yourself talking and go through the cringe of listening to yourself say the same thing over and over again when you're editing. And I remember when I first made my first few videos, my voice just really annoyed me. Like, I started hating my voice. And then on top of that, if you like to make vlogs like I sometimes do, I've had to film myself in public. And that's been pretty nerve-wracking at the beginning because it feels like everyone's staring at you now. Like, what is that girl doing? But honestly, over time, I've just started doing it every time I wanted to capture a moment. And I don't even look at the people around me because who cares if they think it's weird to vlog? I don't even know them. Putting yourself out there, as well as your own thoughts and experiences and feelings, is super vulnerable. Over time, as I post more and more videos, I've stopped really caring what others think. That also translated into me being less afraid to go up to strangers in real life and introduce myself. It's made me get over the fear of rejection because every time I put out a video, it's kind of setting myself up for a mini rejection because it's not at the place where I want it to be. Every time I'm posting a video, I'm really putting myself out there, and it's a vote of confidence in myself. Another way in which it changed my life is that it's allowed me to meet new friends. So as I've started posting more on YouTube, I've begun to immerse myself in the creator community. So the past couple of years, I went to VidCon where I learned all about content creation, and I've met so many content creator friends who have been so encouraging for me to post more consistently and have kept me accountable. If you're watching this, you know who you are. I feel like the creator community has some of the most hardworking and courageous people out there because they're not afraid to put themselves out there, even if it's cringe at the beginning. And it's been so great to meet fellow creators because we all understand the struggles of first starting out and all the insecurities that we have to deal with. And just being able to support each other in that has been a godsend. In the future, I would love to have my own community, and I would love to host in-person meetups for people to meet each other in the community and make new friends. And finally, posting on YouTube has given me a voice and a sense of ownership. So ever since graduating from college and working, I feel like I didn't really have a project that I owned outside of all my work projects. I also didn't really have an outlet to talk about things that matter to me outside of work and find people who are also interested in the same things. Now with my own YouTube channel, I have this project that I completely own from beginning to end, and how much I grow on this channel really depends on my own efforts. And I think that's really exciting because I have agency over how this project turns out. And then in terms of being an outlet, it's helped me think more critically about who I am, what I value, and what I want to share with the world. I feel like before starting my YouTube channel, I've always just been a consumer of content. And I think there was a point in time where I realized that a lot of the thoughts I've had are actually not original anymore. You know those intrusive thoughts where you're just going about your day and then there's a trending TikTok sound that just pops into your mind and you're like, where did that even come from?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Wait.
Well, I've been having too many of those moments, and I've decided that I need to start creating if I want to continue to hold on to my own original thoughts. By thinking through what I want to share with the world, I'm also able to reflect on who I am and what makes me me. And through those questions, I'm more intentional with my time, even outside of YouTube. These are all mindset shifts that wouldn't have occurred if I never started my YouTube channel. So I'm so glad that I took that leap of faith, even if I have less than 100 subscribers, because it's definitely changed my life for the better. If you haven't started your channel yet, do it right now. This is your sign to do it, because you don't know how your life might change outside of just the numbers. All right, with that, see you in the next video.